Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Terry's Amazing Circus podcast. I didn't think we'd get to the end of the show, if I've got to be honest with you, but this is what the podcast is about. Like, literally sitting here airing how the show started, what happened in the show. So first off, I want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys, like Frank and Gary, for joining us today. So thank you for that. Everyone say hello.
Hello guys, how we doing?
What's happening?
I think the biggest thing that we need to talk about first is how the fuck we actually managed to even come up with this idea and how we actually even managed to pull the whole entire show off. There was a lot, and we're going to go through a lot today. That's primarily what I want to do today. I want to get off how this happened and the stuff, because I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't just let's put on a show, bam, that's it. Let's start off with you, Frank. What's your sort of roleplay experience, and then we'll get into how we started Terry's after Gary and you have had your turn, and then I'll do my personal turn. And yeah, go on.
Okay, mate. So back in April of 2024, that's when I first started playing FiveM and getting into roleplay. So I started off as just a normal civ, very quickly dived into the criminal world, just kind of, trying to find my feet sort of thing in what I wanted to do moving forward. So I dabbled in the criminal world, robberies, just doing shit like that. And then essentially I very quickly decided I wanted to go to PD. So I started doing my police roleplay, and moving forward, that was just something I stuck with. So I've been in about 4 or 5 servers, including the City of BNE, where we pulled off the show. So moving past the criminal stuff and going into police, I stuck with that for the foreseeable up until we did the circus. So I would say definitely well over a year, about nearly a year and a half or so of roleplay experience.
Okay, and for you, Gary, what was your sort of back, your past on roleplay and stuff like that?
Well, to be fair, I'm still quite new. I've only been playing a year. I've been in countless different servers, been in loads of different types of servers. But BNE definitely been the best. I've had the best roleplay opportunities with this server, and yeah, I wouldn't leave.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then from me, I'm even newer than these guys. I've only been in since March, late March, and that for me was not it was a bit crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I initially met Frank and Gary inside of the first city that we went in. Then me and Frank decided we were going to go unique, unstoppable, big cities like that where the population is just absolutely mental. And I think this is where it comes into the circus. I think after the first time, I've always done PD. So after the first time, I was really, really, really roleplay burnt out. There was just so much shit going on. It was unreal. I decided, fuck this. I do not want to play FiveM anymore. And that's when I come up with this idea. It was just literally an idea. It was an ADHD. I've got an ADHD brain. It was just fuck this. Right, let's build a circus. And Frank was yeah, fuck yeah. And that's when I was right, but we need somebody else. Who are we going to pick? And then I was I know exactly who I'm going to pick. We need to get Gary straight into it. So we obviously contacted Gary, hit him up, and he was yeah, 100%. Now, this weren't something that happened just overnight. We didn't just create the circus and then it was done. This was late nights, a lot of planning, a lot of gaining intel about what people have managed to pull off in FiveM and stuff like that. Can we agree? It was a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hard work, it was proper.
The late nights.
Effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so from there, what we done was we looked at how many circuses have been pulled off in FiveM. And even still to this day, I cannot find a single circus. I can find the circus tent, but I can't find any content that makes it look like that there's been a circus in any city. So basically, Frank was sort of going around seeing what sort kind of cities we wanted to go to, and hopped onto this city, into BNE with the lovely Lisa. Massive shout out to her. She's been absolutely amazing throughout this whole entire process
Big
of
up Lisa, man.
putting out the circus, and as Gary said, like, big up Lisa. I think the biggest thing that was like, yes, a green flag, this is definitely the place we want to be, is the fact that as soon as we put the idea, she was like, yeah, we'll do it. And then we opened a ticket, and it was sort of like, everything got done from there. And I think that's the thing that I love the most, is the fact that she was all on board with it, even though this could go tits up and it's never been done before. I think the biggest thing as well was the fact that we had bought an idea that could have gone completely wrong, or just not worked, or like made them lose people instead of gain people, and they were just all over it. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, they were actually open to do that. Yeah, I think that was really, really pleasant and like nice to see and hear.
Yeah, like Terry said, from the moment we stumbled across the city, obviously I was just scrolling through TikTok For You page. I came across, like Terry said, I came across Lisa, who goes by the name of Janie. I came across her TikTok live, kind of stuck around for about 5 to 10 minutes or so, just kind of seeing what the city was about. From the moment I stumbled across it, I had a good feeling about the city. She was really hospitable, very, very welcoming into the live. I pitched the idea very quickly of the circus, and she was just like, "Wow, that's amazing! Like, that's a great idea. Let's try and make this happen." So yeah, from the moment we got in, the owners, the admins, the content team, everyone, all the staff, they were just really welcoming and very hospitable around the whole idea.
So now let's talk about like our characters. I'll go first, and then we'll go Frank and then Gary. So like Terry's this older man that isn't an old man, because he's never known anything but circus and wants to open up his life. Like, he wants to open up opportunities. They're not gangsters, but they're criminals. And they just do what they got to do to survive, basically, and that's basically it. There's no two ways of putting it. They literally are out there to survive, and that's it. Obviously, Frank had an addiction that Frank will get into, and then Gary left, which sort of put a bit of a strain on Terry and running the circus, but he's only ever known circus. We've got a mum and dad. Our mum, she got eaten by a I don't know whether it's actually a tiger or a lion. Go on, mate.
A mum and dad.
Yeah,
We had.
we had a mum and dad that were eaten by, I don't even, was it a lion or a tiger?
A lion.
No, it was a lion.
So she got eaten by a lion, but yeah, like that storyline is very, very funny. And then our father died of testicular cancer, which was an inside joke for me and Frank, that in another city. So like, it was very much like it all stuck together. Terry's quite chill. He's quite outgoing. Like, he doesn't really give a fuck about much. And yeah, he's just like, I feel like Terry's a good vibe. Like, I like Terry's vibe. Frank, go on, mate. What's your story?
So yeah, like Terry said, we grew up in a circus. It's all we ever known. Obviously, our mum and dad sadly passed away from two separate tragedies, shall we say. Obviously, like Terry said, our mum got ate by a circus lion, and our dad died of the dreaded testicular cancer. So Frank
R.I.P.,
struggled with that. R.I.P. Obviously, Frank struggled with that. Frank was trying to come to terms with it, process it, and whatnot. Obviously, like Terry briefly mentioned, Gary did end up leaving the family for a while. He went off to Liverpool, which obviously Gary will get into. So Gary left, and on top of obviously the the tragic deaths of their parents, Frank just overloaded. He couldn't cope. He went on a downward spiral. So he dabbled in addiction. He got into drugs, and obviously that was an ongoing battle for Frank. Even to the present day, there's the odd mentions of his addiction and cravings. Frank sort of snapped out of it. I wouldn't say quickly, but I wouldn't say it lasted a very long time either. He very quickly kind of, I'd say, what was it, about a few weeks to a month or so of just straight downward spiral. And then he kind of snapped back and thought, right, no, I need to keep my head on, as Gary would say, give your head a wobble. So that's what Frank did. And Frank came back, him and Terry progressed, carried on with their circus life, shall I say. And yeah, kind of just went from there.
Yeah, I think as well, Frank's got such an unpredictable sort of demeanor to him that you don't ever know what he's ever going to do. And I think that's one of the best things about Frank.
It adds a bit of character as well. It adds that level of uncertainty to where, like, what's next? Is Frank going to flip his shit today, or is Frank going to be level-headed and
Yeah, I
calm?
was going to say it adds to him being a cunt as well, half of the time.
Yeah. Right, Gary, go on, mate. What's your backstory? What's your life?
Well, like you used to, we grew up in the circus, and then there was just one point in my life where I couldn't be arsed being a circus man anymore, so I got a couple of calls from a couple of old school friends, and they needed a bit of help, so I had to go to Liverpool. I was originally going to stay, but I had to go to Liverpool. You have to back your mates, and I ended up staying there longer than expected, and then came back, and obviously used to weren't too happy, understandably. But yeah, it's just I think you still mention it nowadays, but it's not as frustrating, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, I think that's what made at the start when we were going on to sort of like what we were going to react with. It was very much like from Frank, it was very much anger, and from Terry, it was very much like we've got our brother back. Let's try and make the best out of this that we physically possibly can. And for me, it was one of those things where Terry wanted to have him back. Frank wanted him back deep down, but I think he had this sort of sense of like
betrayal.
Guilt, betrayal sort of thing that meant that he didn't really want to let go as much as he was like taking on, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
I think let's go on to the things we like about our character, and I already immediately know what I'm going to say because I immediately know my favorite thing about Terry.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about Terry is the fact that if ever he's feeling down, if ever his brothers are feeling like shit, if ever anyone joins the circus, if ever he's feeling bored, is always breaking out into song. Like there's constantly a song going every now and again. And just so nice to see that we're able to have that sort of that sort of relationship with music. And although like you guys like Gary and Frank sort of like sometimes don't really understand it, by the end of the song you're like, fuck, that actually made me feel better. And I think that's really, really good because it bounces the two characters off of each other. Somebody that may not like music as much or may not understand music as much, Terry sort of brings that sort of side to them that maybe they wouldn't normally do had they have not heard the music, if that makes sense.
yeah. to be fair, I'm gonna be honest. That song Terry sung at the circuit at the airport. It the wage did it quite hard, to be fair. Like when you were there, when you rewatch it, doesn't it as hard? But
Yeah, it's one of
while
those
we
things
were
you got to
there,
be there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I very much sorry. It very much
Go on.
resonated with the scene as well. So, like Gary said, you got to be there to kind of really feel it, because obviously the scene was Terry was on about leaving on a plane, taking a flight elsewhere to escape all the madness, shall we say, what was going on with that day and the lead up beforehand, and it very much resonated with the scene. We were at an airport, all three brothers together, despite everything that happened that day, and Terry was ready to just give up and take flight, and obviously the song was "Leaving on a Jet Plane," and it was a very, when you look back on it, it was a very relevant scene, shall we say.
What's your favorite thing about Frank?
So, so my favorite thing about Frank is that he does have the ability to be funny, but he what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for?
He doesn't quite see it as that.
Yeah, like so like Terry said earlier, he can be very unpredictable, but he has the ability to bring himself down when needed, and he can be quite funny, but he can also be, I really don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
He can. I think you're trying to say Frank can control his emotions, whereas me and Terry can't, as well as Frank.
Yeah.
Or
I think that comes.
either you can control them or you don't let them affect you. Whereas me and Terry, it's harder for us.
Essentially, yeah.
I think another thing that is in all of my characters is the fact that I've always been like, because in head I'm not this emotional kind of guy. I don't do like that kind of thing. So to bring it into RP, like I don't get over girls very easily. Like I don't sort of, if like something happens, I take it quite like personally and stuff like that. And I think that's the thing that I really like about Terry, is the fact that I'm the only person really that actually feels like that. Like Gary's had about 3 different girlfriends in the space of like a week, and it was sort of just
I've only had 2. Chill out.
like, well, no, but what I mean is, I mean like
3 in a week. You imagine? That'd be shit. That.
But what I'm trying to get at is, it's one of those where like he doesn't really give a shit. It's nothing serious. Whereas Terry just wants somebody to love him for who he is, and I think that's a really bittersweet thing about him as well. Is the fact that most of his songs, when he breaks out, they're not necessarily sad songs necessarily. Like, don't get me wrong, there is some sad songs. You will see some sad songs. It is pretty depressing sometimes.
I think the songs Terry picker, it's surprising as well, because every song he picks, they're always appropriate for the situation. It's never,
Oh yeah.
why is he playing this one? It's always, oh my god, it goes
Every
like,
time.
it's with the situation. It genuinely shocks me. Like genuinely shocks me.
Every time a scene is initiated and every time a situation happens, it's like, it just makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, another thing about Frank, I really think he deep down, and it has been made obvious at times, or it has been on the forefront of everyone's minds. Like Frank does struggle inside, but I don't think Frank doesn't talk about his problems as much. Sometimes he will, sometimes he won't, but he also definitely, like with the big scene we had last week, prior to the circus actually going ahead, he was definitely trying to. He was caught in the middle of Gary's antics and Terry's problems, and he was definitely trying to make some sort of effort to sort it all out, but obviously he failed to do so to speak, up until obviously the point where everyone did come back.
Let's talk now about Gary, because this one's quite interesting. What's your favourite part about Gary? Like, what's
I'm
your
excited for
favourite
this
part
one.
about your What's your favourite part about your character?
Everything, that everything. I think he's just a boss fella. Some of he was like a real, like, it's like Gary's one of them. He's just a Scouse granddad, isn't he, really? Like, he hasn't got grandkids or nothing, but do you know what I mean when I say, like, a Scouse granddad? He's
100%,
just like,
100%.
he just
Yeah.
goes with the flow. He goes with the flow, doesn't let anyone give him shit. He doesn't let anyone get down around him. He's always up and ready for whatever comes to him.
Oh yeah.
I think another thing as well is you're not unpredictable, so you know when he's about to, like, when he's about to fucking pop his head. Like, it is so obvious. Unlike Frank, like, when he's about to, like, fucking go on a mad one. Like,
Yeah.
it's so predictable.
So another thing, like one thing I could say about Gary as well is like, there was this scene the other day, prior to the
Yeah.
show, and Gary obviously attempted to join that gang, and obviously it all kicked off. It was a hell of a day. Obviously, I won't dive into it because obviously that will take up a lot of time. But it was a hell of a day to say the least. But then, despite everything that happened, Gary came back, hopped in the radio, and assisted his brothers with the problems that they had, such as rescuing Terry's girlfriend. And despite everything, Gary had his family. That's another
And
thing I really admired about that scene, that day.
And you gotta remember as well that on that scene, I had everyone looking for me, everyone after me. I had money on my head, and I still went out and saved Terry's beard, lad. So obviously, lad, I'll do anything for me brothers, you know.
Let's talk about the best moments. I'm gonna go first because I've got a really fucking good one.
And I've got a few, you know. I've got a proper fair few on this.
I've said this a few times to Frank in head. Like, my best ever scene with you, Gary, was when the day that me and Elena, no, the day that I like gave Elena a promise ring, and that song, the way that song, the minute you sort of started talking was really, really good. On the on sort of like, it was coming to the end of the song, but there was still a little bit of the song left, but you didn't want me to sing the song. You wanted me to just go out there and go fucking get her. And it was sort of just like one of those things where you're putting
kind of like hyping. I was trying to hype you up and get you ready for the thing.
Yeah. And
like,
I think,
to be fair though, even though I knew her, I kind of had a feeling it weren't gonna go well, so I was trying to talk her out of it. But I thought halfway, I was like, "There's no talking Terry out of it. If Terry wants to do something, he's gonna do it, whether he knows the answer or not. He's gonna try anyway." And I think that's my favourite thing about Terry as well. But I knew the answer, but I knew we weren't gonna be able to stop you, lad. So I was just trying to hype you up.
yeah, and I think that's another good thing as well, is the fact that you'll support me no matter what, even if you think what the decision I'm making is going to fuck me in the ass. And as we said, like, you still have my back when it comes to, like, when I did get fucked over, like when Terry did get fucked over, you were still there and sort of like, there for us. I think the best moment I've got with Frank, and then I'll do the boys, and then we can sort of get everyone else's opinion. I think the best moment with Frank that we've had was that day when Frank was feeling so pissed, and I was like, look, take it out on the music. And I can't remember what I played. Oh yeah, Bat Out of Hell. and I was literally just standing there singing to it. And by the end of it, like you were so hyped and like so like
Yeah.
crazed, and it was like,
Yeah.
fuck me, man, this like actually feels like real life. Like I'm starting to get like a buzz, like, and I kept on telling you like, take it out on the music, take it out on the music. I think the best joint role play that we've done so far has to be that day when Elena left and everything went tits up, and then at the end of it we just stood there and we sang,
was
I
the
sang a
most
song, and
in head. It was the most awful. In head, it was the most awful day. It was the most. Everyone was
Yeah.
pissed off, tired, fed up, wanted to give up. But at the end of the day, as soon as I woke back up, it was like, well, Elena's in trouble. If I want to get back, if I need to prove to these boys, then I'll prove it. And then I went and got her, and then obviously she didn't stay, but obviously still respects to her though. Still respects to her.
Yeah. It was definitely it definitely put the circus to the test, and it definitely
yeah,
put
100%.
our brotherhood and our familyhood to the test. 100%.
100%. I think the biggest thing about that scene is the fact that none of us knew it was going to happen in head, and although obviously our character doesn't know anything about it, like when you know something's going to happen in head, it feels a little less stressful. But then when it's like happening just like out the middle of nowhere, it's like shit. Fuck,
It's almost
what
like
do I
a
do?
freestyle sort of, like you just got to roll with it. Like something happens, you think in your head, right, this can happen, but right, let's just roll with it. Now, like it's happened. You kind of got to think
Right.
of ways to go with the scene, sort of thing.
Yeah, Frank, what's your best moments with Gary, me, and then all of us?
Right, best moment with Gary. I think, despite how messy it was, it's the first thing that's come to my head, so it's got to be the best one, clearly. Despite how messy that day was, it was the way that Gary picked Frank up. Little comical sort of statement here. Right, if you want some drugs, I'll get you some drugs, Frank. it was definitely quite funny, but it was like Frank was so down. Frank was so down and so confused, so angry, so stressed, so sad, so everything.
He wouldn't move. He was just sat on the floor, and I was like, "Well, we can't sit here forever." So I just picked him up, and I was like, "Lad, if you want drugs, I'll go and get you some right now."
Yeah, and it was definitely
Frank,
it was
hey,
definitely
confirm this for me, Frank. I went and got you some, didn't I? I went and got you some. No, I did because I still had that Charlie in my pocket from the worst dress competition from the night before, didn't I? So I give you 2 bags of Charlie, and then I give that LSD to that kid, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure, but it was the way that Gary picked Frank up in the car, took him out, went here, there, and everywhere. It was definitely like Gary trying to help Frank, despite Frank not being able to talk about his problems, apart from just coming very close to doing the unthinkable. But obviously, I'll leave it there. I think Frank's best moment with Terry has. Let me have a little think here. It's definitely got to be the It's a hard one, you know, because we've had a few good moments. It's rather got to be rather got to be one of these two. The way they sat there and sung together. I think one of the clips is on TikTok.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
The way they
I
sung
remember
together, one of the Greatest Showman tracks, or the way Terry breaks out into song, plays a song, they start dancing on the on the main stage, or the other one's completely skipped my mind now.
What's your best moment with both of us? Like the both of us. What do you think that was?
Again, I know I keep going back to this day, and I know how much of a shambles it was, but we did get some good scenes out of it. Like, you know, the way we were all camped up at that house, and me and Gary were the way we all got in that car with Elena, and we went up to that house, you know, basically set up camp at someone's fucking humble abode. And you know, Terry went round the back with Elena to have a chat. Frank and Gary guarded the front, and they even had a little heart-to-heart slightly. And it was just the way we all came together. Despite everything that happened, we were still there for each other. And it is definitely something that can resonate with IRL stuff, you know, the way everyone's had each other's backs and stuck together is the main thing.
100%. Now let's talk about the actual show.
Whoa.
At first, we were living out of the fairgrounds, the little, like, what do you even call it? What do you even call that bit we were living out
It was the pier. Yeah. So it was at the pier, the main pier. Obviously you've got the fairground slightly down the wooden track. And obviously we were living out of behind one of the metal fences that were guarded off. You know, you had to climb over the fence to get over it, to even see what's behind it. So we were living out of that. We were sleeping. We were definitely, it could class as sleeping rough, per se.
Yeah,
I don't know
100%.
why the fuck we didn't sleep in our cars. Nobody thought of that.
No. I think the biggest like impulse that Terry had was buying that Lamborghini Murcielago.
Oh, the Murcielago. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think that was the worst possible decision you ever made, because you bought that the first day. First day we went
and it got repoed.
And it got repoed 2 days later, and you were like a little smacker going around asking everyone, have you got any money, because I need finance.
I need to pay me finance.
And that was the point where I was like, oh shit.
I know this is off topic slightly, but just a heads up, Frank's car has also been repoed because he went bankrupt.
I think the funniest thing about it.
The little red one, or when we were living.
No, it's blue one. It's blue sports car, little 2-door, which is technically a 4-door.
I thought that got robbed off. Yeah, that's why I didn't see that again.
No, it got repoed because obviously Frank had the last couple of weeks prior to the show, and then obviously the show going ahead, and up until present moment now, Frank's very poor. He's got to get back on track with his personal. Obviously, we're not poor per se, but obviously Frank, with his personal checking account and all that, he's very poor.
Yeah.
He can't even afford a fucking sandwich. He's borrowing money off his brothers.
Something that I hadn't told you guys in head. So obviously we lived there, and then we left there. We managed to get the I know
Circus. Exactly what you're gonna say. I think I know exactly what you're gonna say.
I hadn't told anyone in head. Elena was building up the caravan and, like, you know, decorating it and whatever. And we had this whole joke of her putting like fucking what was it? Cupboards on the
walls and all that.
So I actually took 10k out of Terry's and I gave it to her just so she could put a fucking TV inside of the fucking caravan. And I hadn't told anyone. So that's the reason why I went down.
How was he laughing that much at that? Do you know how much money we could have, how much petrol and food we could have got with 10k, and he spent it on a fucking telly?
It's an expensive TV. It better have been fucking 8k and all that.
The TV was sick.
HD.
The TV still is sick. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, some of the scenes that I managed to make out with that TV has been unreal. But I think the funniest thing was the fact that he was so in denial. Because I was like, Terry was like, I'm going to put it back. And because obviously it was a week of the circus, I didn't have enough time to go do any trucking jobs because I just couldn't, like, I was too busy. Like, I was either with Elena or I was with you guys or doing rehearsals.
You could have told me, you know, because on that night I was DJing. Frank, I showed up there and Frank was there. Frank, I literally suggested one song and he asked me to DJ, didn't he?
Yeah.
I didn't ask the DJ nothing. He just said, "Come up and DJ, lad, and I'll give you 25,000." And he was sound, and lad, you could have told me. I would have put 10 grand back in the bank for you and would have kept it a secret. But then obviously, I had to spend it on I had to spend most of it on another bike, and then I had a bit left over off trucking jobs, and then I had to get money. I had to get petrol and food. But lad, you well should have told us that. We would have put it back. I mean, Frank couldn't have, like, he was too busy buying his fake Reeboks and that. Fake Reebok
Oh, fucking
trackies.
hell, yeah, I forgot about that.
Wait, what was I buying?
Your fake Reebok trackies, lad.
What?
Those
Never
fucking
mind,
trousers, those Reebok trousers, like joggers or whatever they're called.
When did I buy them?
Oh my god. I'll explain in a bit, lad. I'll explain in a bit.
Anyway, moving on. Go on, Terry.
I remember. Go on.
Let's go on to the build-up of the show and how. Obviously, you guys know about the whole crap with Elena and how it went tits up. I think the biggest thing was the fact we had 3 acts drop out within the space of 3 days, and in head we were actually thinking, like, is this even possible now?
Yeah.
Like, is this even going to be physically possible with just the 3 of us? And when we ran the show for the first time, when we all had to do our own sound, we had to do our own effects and stuff like that, that's when I was like, okay, maybe it's possible. And it was on the night of the show when we were showing Elena the show, and I realised that Ronnie was standing on the side of the stage doing all the effects, and I was like, fuck me, we've made a circus. What the fuck? Like, this is actually happened.
So did it not hurt you until the night?
No, because I thought it was going to go tits up. I'll be honest, I thought it was going to go really massively tits up.
That's why I was dead nervous when I joined that gang, and I was like, oh shit, this circus isn't gonna go ahead now. And that, genuinely, if I thought it was still gonna go ahead, I would have tried to get back in, but not as hard. But even the boys in the gang were asking me, and the yellows, they were like, what show's the circus done for then? And I was like,
I think that was such a good cliffhanger as well, because a couple of days later, like the Thursday, I think it was, or the Wednesday, you released that video of, is the circus over?
Yeah.
And that gives that such good
circus, and we even had Janie,
like,
Janie
double questioning herself,
put comment saying it fucking better not be.
When I had messages off people that like off me mates in head that was just watching it from TikToks, and that weren't even in the city, and some of them don't even play FiveM. And he was like, lad, you better not be cancelling this circus, lad, because I just blocked you on TikTok. And I was like, lad, you're going to block me? He was like, yeah. And I was like, lad, it's not my
even
TikTok.
People who weren't even a part of the city or the circus wanted it to go ahead. That's the movement we made.
I think let's get on to the actual show itself. And I want to say one word of appreciation, massive word of appreciation, because I don't think we not respected, but we didn't understand how much of a big part that she played in head and also in city as well is Elena. Like, we never, like, when she was doing sound, she was the only person ever that knew the show inside and out other than us. Like, and she was the only person
to know it.
Yeah, like, she was the only person who actually knew what the show was about or like how the show went when an act started. She was on point straight the way every single time, and I think that's the best thing we can say like for Elena. And even though
Biggest
she
thing
was
that like made our heads go up our ass about when she left, because
yeah
when I was doing the show on them sounds, even on the practice, I was like, oh god, what if I get this late? Or like there was times where I'd press play and it'd play the previous song, but I'd have the new
yeah
link in, and I was like, what if that happens on the show?
yeah. And so another thing I want to say is she had stuff going on in head, which is not for this, but
Yeah.
she took the time. Bear in mind, it was very important what she was doing. She took the time to still come and watch
Yeah.
the circus on your rise, Frank. And I think
Which
that's such a
I
big
think,
commitment.
yeah, I think that is a huge,
Yeah, 100%.
unimaginable
I
level
think
of commitment and support.
I
So
think we need to get a. She streams on Twitch, doesn't she?
Yeah.
yes, mate. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we need to get at least everyone.
I'll try and
over
put in the
to Twitch.
description. I'll put in the
Even
description
people
of this podcast. Obviously, everyone's stuff. Anyone that was involved, like yeah,
No, even people that aren't involved that just have Twitch, just tell them, just follow it.
yeah.
Because like,
I think let's go on to the show now. So we gave Elena our appreciation, and I genuinely mean that. The show day, and then we'll talk about what's to come. Act 1, brilliant. I mean, I've actually never actually done that right. I got it right. I mean, I fell off the tightrope, but we don't talk about that. Act 2, that went better than I ever thought it would ever go. Like that is the best run of that show of Act 2 that we've ever done with with the fire, the motorbike going on fire, and all that. Like that was the best one we've ever done of
100%.
that. The third act.
Well, this is my cue to leave.
I do not know how he managed to recover it so quickly and made it so discreet that nobody even realized that the show had gone wrong.
Yeah, nobody even noticed. They were like, they just rolled with it. They didn't know it was.
even someone said the other day, like if Terry didn't go on stage and say, like we've had a little bit of technical difficulties, no one would have noticed. They would have just thought, at the best, they would have just thought, oh, he's played the wrong song.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no one even noticed that. I don't think anyone noticed that the song come on either, because I was in the middle of fixing the volume when he disappeared. So I was like, oh well, that's a bit of a
obviously
lifesaver,
obviously for context for anyone listening to the podcast, who wasn't watching the stream or wasn't in City watching the circus, obviously I had a major head issue where my game and PC at the same time crashed. I had to completely reboot my PC, start up again, fly back into FiveM as quickly as physically possible, and just roll with it. When I got back in, Terry announced the act is my act would be in the second half, and I was like, sweet, let's just roll with it, go. And we just managed to, like, big props to Gary and Terry for recovering that efficiently.
It was
all thanks to it was all Terry. It ain't me, man.
It was one of those things where
I was
in head,
stuttering, I didn't know what to do at all, and Terry just said, "Go out, announce me on, play my song." And
I think the biggest thing was I'm the director in head for the show, and obviously I played Terry. I mean, don't get me wrong, Discord's our best friend. I mean, massive shout out to Discord. Not that we're even sponsored by them. I mean, hit us up if you want, but
yeah, Discord sponsors.
I wish.
But Discord was literally our best friend in that, because there was a way that we could go, that we could produce the show without going OOC. And I think that's really, really good because we were able to sort of see the script and stuff, and I was able to sort of make these split decisions. And it was my responsibility as the director in head to recover the show. And I was just like, right, hypnotist act, let's go. Because at the end of the day, if we didn't do it like that, then we would have then stopped the show or put it into a break and people would have realized. Whereas I literally just went and done the quick change. Gary played the music and it was like, right, okay, act like nothing's happened, sound, let's go. And it was one of those where it actually like rolled. And I think that was the biggest thing. Now, obviously we had the other acts. I don't want to spoil too much because we've still got to do 2 more shows. So I don't want to spoil too many acts, if you know what I mean. Let's go to the end of the show. How are we all feeling at the end of the show?
Relieved. Relieved that it was over. We despite a couple bumps in the road, we smashed it regardless, and everyone was happy with the show. Everyone was cheering, clapping along. That after party was great, and our exit
And
out of the city was
and you, Gary,
crazy.
How were you feeling at the end?
I needed like, I think I needed a defibrillator after it. It was, I like, it was, it's hard to explain that. Like, I was literally dripping with sweat.
Yeah, no,
I
it
know
actually,
what you
it
mean.
did feel, it actually felt like we had just performed a show, like IRL.
Oh
I've
yeah,
got
100%.
blisters on my hands because that's how much my hands was sweating while I was holding my mouse and keyboard. I've genuinely got blisters on my hands.
I think everyone had the nerves built up that night, 100%.
Oh lad, it was 100% more than a bit of nerves. 100%.
I think I felt so relieved that we had managed to pull it off, and in the Discord directors chat, like the voice chat, I was like, we fucking done it, let's go. Like, and I was so grateful. Like, we went over to, like, we got all of the admins to come over at the back of the tent while everyone else was partying, and just sort of said to them, look, we're so fucking happy that you've managed to give us this opportunity. Like, we love you, and stuff like that. And I was so like happy that we had finally managed to pull something like that off, because I didn't think it was possible.
100%.
I think.
No, go on, mate, go on.
I think the point, going back to before as well, I think it only hit me quite late when everyone started arriving. That's the point where it hit me like, oh shit, it's not no practice.
Yeah.
This is the real thing.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Let's talk about future plans, and let's bring on a special guest. I think we've got a lot to talk about. BB, are you there? I'm gonna take it not. We may not have a special guest.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth
Cox calling you to the stage?
So the future, what's the future looking like for Terry's Amazing Circus? We've got another city we're going in. I don't want to announce it just yet. The only reason being is because I'm still in the talks of what we need.
Our special guest will be about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing that we've got going for this show is the fact that we know we're doing 2 more of these shows. We also know that we're going to be doing a Halloween show and also a Christmas show. Sorry.
Can I just say, Halloween, Christmas, I'm all there. I'm so pumped. I am so pumped for what we could possibly bring.
Halloween, we'll have to talk about that one off the podcast. Because I'm always busy the night before Halloween, so
yeah, we'll figure all that out later. But
I think the biggest thing that we have for this
Hiya.
is oh shit.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, this is our special guest, Elizabeth Cox.
There we
Hiya.
go.
I was not expecting to be joining us.
I think so. The biggest thing that we've got that's new that we can tell you about, because there's a lot of new stuff, but we can't tell you about, is we've now got a cousin called Elizabeth Cox. Say hello, Elizabeth.
Hiya.
So basically, we thought, well, actually, no, not even. Elizabeth liked what we done on flipping heck, on Frank's Eyes, and she reached out and she's like, you know, can we join? And I was like, fuck yeah, just do it. And the thing with it is it was like, what do you want to do for the circus, this, that, and the other? And it was like everything. She said, yeah, fine, let's go. We're going to be bringing, it means that there's going to be A, more acts. It means B, the show's going to be a bit longer, but also C, it means that there's more role play that can be entailed into it. And that's what I really, really like about the circus, is the fact that it opens us up so many doors.
I think for me, like, this is, I don't want to put it into your minds, but I think the thing for me is, if it starts getting big, obviously it's already big, but I mean, if it starts getting
Trending, viral.
Well, yeah. If it starts going even more viral, I think it'll. I don't know how to word it. Like,
There'll be a more level, a bigger level of expectation as well.
Yeah, that, and it's also kind of like, I might just be overthinking it or something, but it's more of like, well, what if someone else starts doing their own, because they think it's just.
That's the reason why we have to make it bigger and better. So like for the
So
October show,
pressure.
yeah, like we need to make it
every single show.
Yeah, and I think the thing that is as well is the fact that now BNE have seen it. BNE are going to be the first to see every single one of our first productions. That is just an unwritten rule we all have. That is the rules. Yeah, but the thing of it is we can't show BNE something they've already seen, so we have to change it up. Which is why when Frank gave me Elizabeth and said, like, you know, let's look at this, we spent like what, an hour, guys, like trying to come up with your character, Elizabeth.
About that.
Yeah, about that. It was difficult because I had no idea. I literally came across Frank's TikTok and I watched you guys practice. My first thought was, fuck me, this man can't drive. As he pulled into the tent. But I watched.
It's all that.
And I thought, oh my god, this is an amazing idea. I have never seen a circus, and I've been in RP for 3 years. And I thought this is amazing. And then as soon as you guys say, well, we travel different cities, I thought this has never been done. I thought this could be huge.
Well, it has now.
Which is
I was like, I either need to be part of this or I need to follow this. I was like,
which is definitely the reaction we were looking for, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I have spoken to a lot of people. I try and keep my involvement quiet because I don't want to be associated with previous characters that I have been in RP. But I have said, look at this. I've sent them websites, I've sent them the TikToks, and I said, this is the next big thing. And everyone I've spoken to has said, I've never seen this. This is completely new. This has never been done. And this is guys that have been in cities for a very long time. People that have played FiveM since it's opened. And no one's come across this, especially a travelling one. All events I have ever known have always stayed in city. So this, I think this idea is amazing. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to be part of this. One way or the other.
I think the biggest thing for us was we had just finished ERP and we wanted to try and make it so that Elizabeth wasn't related to us. So then there wasn't this whole predicament of she could leave. because now she's our cousin, she can't leave. because
Well,
she's
I mean,
died.
she can't. She
Well-
can't. It'll just be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Elizabeth's backstory is, it's still
like
being worked
Gary's.
at. Yeah, it's basically my dad, your uncle, ran off with the lion tamer that ate your mum. My mum went a little bit cuckoo from that, and now she's in a home. And I decided at 16 that I had enough and left to be a stripper. And now I'm back needing roof, money, and yeah.
Sounds a bit like you, Frank.
Now you come back trying to to fall back on our success.
But obviously, because I am new to all this, I'm still building her. But my idea of Elizabeth is to be entitled. She's the only daughter of your uncle. She's, grew up in a circus. So my aim for Elizabeth is that she's a very entitled, pampered, and does not take any responsibility, which then leaves it all on Terry.
Yeah, and I think another thing
Course.
is obviously she's the only female. Obviously, Terry, Frank, and Gary don't have a sister. Obviously, their mum, before she passed, was the only female, as well. So I think it's definitely something new, as well, because, yeah,
Yeah, I think it makes
Something new, but
Elizabeth
in a good
very.
way.
Yeah, I think it makes Elizabeth very babied, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like, doesn't have to take responsibility because she's the youngest out of you guys. She's the only female in the family. She doesn't have to take responsibilities. It all gets left on Terry.
there's definitely room.
It
for a
always
lot
gets
of,
left on Terry. Terry,
Yeah, that's-
everything gets left on Terry.
Yeah,
You
but
know-
that's
Well,
the whole point.
Well, Terry, the way you've just said it, then made me remember. Everything always gets left on you. I'll agree. But when you're not about it, everyone comes to Gary, and I feel bad for
Yeah,
you because I know the pressure of trying to sort everything out while everyone's doing everything.
I think that's the
Be-
stigma
like-
of being the oldest, though, isn't it?
No, I'm not. I was the
like-
youngest until you come along. Like
Yeah, not
everything
you, I
should be
meant
going to
Terry.
Frank. Everything should be going to Frank when Terry's not here.
Yeah, but I don't think
yeah.
Frank's the one to. No offense,
I
Frank.
I don't think people are brave enough to have a conversation with Frank because it could go one of two ways.
Yeah,
I know Frank will leave it.
100%.
Frank will judge you there and then and swat you. Or they'll
Yeah.
be like, yeah, come here, you're my best friend, you're not leaving my side. So either way,
It could go one of two ways
gonna-
with Frank.
you're gonna- you're gonna get a twat on Frank one time or another. Like, if you're his best mate and then you decide to leave, you're gonna get a twat. If he doesn't like you there and then,
Yeah. If you're his brother, you're gonna get
yeah,
a twat,
like,
one way or another.
I never thought I'd meet Batty Batson. I've
Fucking
never
bat-
thought
oh,
my
honest to
brothers
God,
would
that
then
Batty
shit.
Batterson. At the start, it
Oh,
was,
okay.
I
it was
never
actually
thought I'd
hilarious.
get
but
introduced. Go on.
at first, I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Then time goes on, and I was like, "This guy's just hitting everyone with a bat and setting everything on fire." It's actually beginning to become like really annoying.
Yeah, in that first ever group picture we took, looks like my hat's on fire because Nobed set a bin on fire right behind me. I made me stand just to the left. Well, the way I was facing, just to the right of it, so it looks like. Do you know when like someone puts a feather in your hat?
Yeah,
It looks like I've got a fire feather in my hat.
it definitely does.
I think to sum
welcome.
it up, there's a lot more to come where this come from, and making the show better is certainly our aim.
Yeah,
Let's
100%.
see where our plans take us. We've got a lot more plans where they come. It's looking very, very good.
100%.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching our first podcast. But yeah, everyone say bye.
I hope you got,
See you
I
soon.
hope you got
Bye.
bored.
Catch you later, everyone.
See you later.
Thank you for watching.